Virtual Grip Network, and I hope you brought your wine key because we're in the heart of the Sonoma Valley here in the hills of California for week 20 of the OBRL YesterYear Racing Cup Series, YesterYear, where past meets present. I'm Zach Petman, a.k.a. Shaggy, along with my partner in crime, John Hine, and we're lucky enough to have the heartbeat of EGN, the absolute best, bringing all the sights and sounds, the one and only Ryan Seneker. Last week, the OBRL had a stop in the heart of Chicago for a little street racing that gave the fans more than they could ask for. As we watched the cars cross the line for the finish, I'm not sure I saw one of them with 4 straight fenders, but we did indeed see Andrew Kotska deliver his 4th win of the season in dominant fashion after an early spin from Courtney Nelson allowed him to walk away. Daryl Weininger found his way back to the podium as well and now finds himself a mere 3 points behind Alan Wanamaker. Will Kotska be able to go back-to-back? Can Alan widen the gap to 17th? Let's find out as we do 50 laps around the hills of California here at the Sonoma Raceway. Now, John, last week we saw the Chicago Street Course, which, you know, me and you were talking a little bit, man, vastly different. Here at Sonoma, we've got wide runoff areas that can really allow drivers to attack, but man, if you put those tires out in the gravel, you could be in for a wild ride. What do you expect after what we saw last week in Chicago?
Yeah, there's a lot of differences between here and Chicago. You know, first I'm going to start with the elevation changes. You know, you go up the hill, there's a couple of blind corners here where you can't see what's on the other side of that corner, which as a driver always makes things interesting because if there's problems right up over that hill, you're not going to see it until you're probably in it. But, you know, I really look for guys to be challenged going up the hill past the start-finish line up to those first set of turns there because you're kind of going uphill. Some guys will use their engine to brake. Other people will be braking and downshifting. But you know, a key to road racing is when you're braking and downshifting, you want to keep your wheel as straight as you can. Well, going up that hill, you really don't get a chance to keep your wheel straight. So guys are going to have to be very precise on where they downshift and how they're braking and everything else through there. If not, they're going to find themselves in a lot of trouble once they get towards the top of the hill. The S's here. The S's really, you know, you want to get greedy and try to get through those S's as quick as you can. You can make up a lot of time there, but like you said, it's surrounded by dirt. And you know what? You drop a tire, you can get out of shape and really, really hurt your lap, if not wreck. And the other thing is, Zach, you know, you and I, we did Spa this weekend in iRacing. And, you know, there was a lot of debris on the track over that 24 hours. A lot of stuff being thrown on the track from people, you know, dropping tires and stuff like that. And through that, I learned you lose a little grip. So if guys are throwing a lot of dirt up on the track, especially through those S's, grip on track could become a problem also. So buckle up here. It's going to be fun. We're going to go right. We're going to go left. And we're going to see who wins this thing at the end of it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on it perfect there, man. When I saw that red and yellow flag over the weekend, it was scary. It was hold on tight. Maybe don't drive it as hard as you're used to. And, you know, being the street course at Chicago, I'm sure maybe they got that a couple times, possibly debris cautions after guys hitting the wall, but not for a slippery track surface. So guys are going to have to pay attention, make sure they're on it here tonight. But let's go ahead. We got a little bit of extra time, obviously, because we're qualifying at the road course. So let's pull up the points. I had touched on it a little bit there. Alan Wanamaker, that man in 16th, John. Daryl Weininger, I believe, told us last week in the interview he wasn't going to be here. Could be wrong. I think he had some plans this weekend. He is not here at the moment. So, I mean, you got to be feeling good if you're Alan Wanamaker. I don't know if I see Roger Hurley on the list here actually either. Okay, so all right, so Roger is here. So Alan can't get too comfortable, but you got to be feeling pretty good. I mean, Alan did good on the road course last week.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, here's the thing about these points as you look at them. You know, Luke Lane and Alan Wanamaker they've still got to race. They've got to collect as many points. But above those guys, from Brian Lynch up to Jerry, weekends like this where we're not doing what we normally do, this is all about not losing a great deal of points. I mean, you know, being 41 points to the good like Brian Lynch is, well, if something happens to him, that gap can disappear. And then you got your guys like a Lloyd Moore, like a Roger Hurley who qualified pretty good here, I think, so far as of right now. Those guys, Greg McDaniel, you're looking for that opportunity to maybe steal a win, and what better place to do it than on a road course here where you can turn right, you can turn left, and the guys aren't accustomed to that. So if you've done your work and put the work in, you can steal a win at one of these tracks. We've talked about it a few times. That word wild card comes up. This is another wild card weekend, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I can't rewind here for verification, but John, I feel like it wasn't that long ago that Victor Lane, the guy 10th in points there, I mean, he was Lloyd Moore. He was Greg McDaniel. He was sitting back 20 some points out of that top spot. And in the matter of about 8 or 9 weeks, I mean, he has just really turned that season around. And I only say that because, we've got 8 races, or I guess 7 races left counting tonight until we go into the playoffs. So, I mean, you could think 43 points, you're far out. But, I mean, you still got plenty of time to dig your way out of this.
Here's the crazy part. All that lead that he built up, he's not here. So that might go away. And the same thing for Luke. Luke's not here. So this is going to be, especially for Luke, Roger Hurley right now. He's qualified in the field, and he's got to know that those guys aren't here. And Roger, job one here is make all the laps and get a solid finish. Because if he does, he's going to leapfrog up into that points fight in a big way. I mean, right now he's sitting P5 on the board. You want to see if you can't hold serve. You just dropped a P6, but you know what? Finishing in the top 10 here, that would be a huge gain for Roger here.
Yeah, and we hope, they're missing because of a vacation or something fun. Hopefully nothing's going on over there, that's for sure. But, man, those guys right in the thick of it, and, man, that will really open it up. I wonder, though, John, I didn't even mention I was going to do this to you, and we can just be honest. I mean, we've got our favorites here. I mean, Kotska, Hill, Courtney, Nelson. I mean, spoiler alert, I think he's maybe going to have that penalty. But do you see anybody maybe on that right side that you think they did okay at Chicago? They could walk out of here, or is it pretty much everybody on that right side? Let's get as much points as we can tonight.
Well, I think if you're sitting where about Lloyd Moore is, Greg McDaniel, in that top 20, I mean, 40 points is roughly a race. Chris Bates on down, that 60 points on down, you're in a must win because you're counting on a lot of guys having trouble and having to leapfrog a lot of guys to get into the points. Those guys have to figure out a way, and winning has got to be what's on their mind at this point.
And I am going to throw a wild card out there. Now, he's missed a couple races these past 2 months. I think he's maybe been here half the time. But John, we're familiar with Scott Negus. He's a short track racer, and something one of our partners told me, the road course racing, Mr. Ed Foster. He said, if you know how to short track race, you're probably a good road course racer. So I say keep your eye out on that 94 tonight of Scott Negus. That's going to be my wild card here.
I didn't get the memo on that because I'm a pretty decent short tracker, but the road stuff I've yet to figure out. But, I think there are a lot of similarities because on short tracks and stuff like that, you've got to do a lot of braking to get into corners and get out of corners, the in like a lamb, out like a lion scenarios. That can play out a lot around a lot of these corners. But what short tracks, nor even if guys that are good on intermediate tracks or speedways, what you don't have are things like the S's, where it's a quick right-hander, quick left-hander, you're on, off the throttle, that kind of stuff. That is stuff that just takes time and seat time to do. So, this week, I don't know if a lot of guys might have been in the open servers practicing or using the AI, which I really like using the AI to practice. Yeah, I mean, if you're on the border, this is a place that you probably should have gotten some laps in before we go green here.
Yeah, most definitely. You want to make sure you're familiar with that track. Here is time almost up, John. We should be getting that starting grid here, I want to say, in about 10-15 seconds as qualifying comes to a close. And I can't remember how with our starting grid, I don't think it shows the lap times, but boy, oh boy, there is a variety in lap times. And I'm hearing if they put in a time, they will. And John, spoiler alert, the man I picked to possibly be the wild card and win this thing, he is a little off the pace of this top row. So maybe you were right and maybe Ed was wrong as we take a look here at the starting
just
lineup.
for the record, yeah, it's almost a 5-second difference. But yeah, let's roll here with the lineup.
Yeah, Andrew Kotska lines up on the pole with that 1:16.06. John, almost in the 1:15s. Almost half a second faster than the man on the outside, Daniel Hill.
Yeah, in the second row, it's going to be Mr. Tom Ogle starting third and Josh Robinson rolling off fourth.
Jerry Isaacs lines up on the inside of row 3 to the top shelf, the 77 of Roger Hurley.
Fourth row is going to look like this. It's going to be the number 92 of James Hislop, and out to his outside, it's going to be number 47 of Kenny Allen.
The general lines up on the inside of row 5, Dwayne MacArthur to the top shelf, the 3 of Christian Lushin.
First car outside the top 10 is going to be Sean Foltz. He's going to roll off 11th. Next to him is going to be Alan Wanamaker.
Chris Bates. Oh, man, these last names today. What is going on with me? On the inside of row 7 to the top shelf, the 93 of Patrick Martindale.
Torrance Childs is going to roll off 15th, and a newcomer here. I don't think he's run too many of these things, if any, here yet this season. It's going to be the number 53 of John Paris.
My wild card, I think I jinxed him. 5.006 off the leader. Scott Negus on the inside of row 9 to the top shelf. Your first non-qualifier, Andrew Medlin.
Courtney Nelson and Tom Massey are going to round out your top 20.
Brian Lynch to the inside. Bob Fellemon to the outside of row 11.
And the final row here is going to be Robert Garisco and Gavin Adams. But we do have some penalties. We talked about it a little while ago. Courtney Nelson, he's going to go to the back, as well as Brian Lynch, Robert Garisco, and Gavin Adams. So Garisco and Adams already kind of back there, but looks like Lynch is going to fall. He's the one that's going to probably take the biggest hit there. And well, no, he's towards the back too. So they're all already towards the back.
Now, John, obviously, a little too early to come down right away, but we did hear from some of the drivers. I believe I pulled Negus up here. He assumed they're about 7 laps short. He said 43 laps to a tank. Could be wrong. Some other guys may be able to go a little longer, but if you're Courtney, one of those guys at the back, if you think you do have to pit, John, do we short pit when we get into traffic?
No, you split it in half, go half and half on a road course.
All right, well, we'll see how it plays out here as they roll through that final hairpin. Andrew Kotska is going to be set to drop the hammer here. Daniel Hill needs a good start. Doesn't want to go in side-by-side battling with Tom Ogle here. As the green flag waves, we're underway in the hills of California. 50 laps to get it done, and look at him, John, side-by-side, but Andrew Kotska just out-dueled Hill.
Yeah, outbraked going up the hill, and everybody looks to be getting through there clean and green all the way through the top of the hill here, so this is a good start for everybody.
Kotska driving it in here. Now, John, we talked a little bit about, we didn't see a lot of drivers here coming up in this corner really using the runoff. Do we expect maybe some passes here up into that hairpin style corner, maybe forcing guys to use the runoff?
Yeah, it's quite possible. It's a braking zone. It's a good passing opportunity here as everybody kind of gets single file here, getting around the track, especially going through the S's here the first time. Cold tires, got to take it easy through this part of the track.
Definitely got to take it easy, but a man who doesn't have time to take it easy, John, is that 78. And here he comes, Courtney Nelson, trying to bring that thing up around. But, John, we mentioned you got to be careful through the S's. You swing out too far, you're done. But, oh, man, he's going to try to outbrake him here.
Oh, and Martindale tried to outbrake Nelson. And, boy, what a save by Martindale.
Yeah, Courtney Nelson called the bluff there, followed him into that final S, and boy, oh boy, Martindale, 10 out of 10 on the save, John. Kept it on the racetrack, but better yet, kept it out of the wall.
Yeah, absolutely here. And man, I tell you what, it's amazing. These guys every week just amaze me. You get through here clean all the way through to the track.
Right now, Andrew Kotska already, John, 2 seconds out in front as we see, I believe, the newcomer, John Paris, right, in that Pepsi machine. He's off the racetrack. He's able to get back on. Doesn't look like much damaged, as you see the 77 of Roger Hurley fall in line behind, I think, Lushin there. Lushin, he had a good run at Chicago, John, was on the podium. You expect another one here?
Yeah, anything's possible. You just got to concentrate, hit your marks. I think if you do that, you're probably going to get a good finish, and Lushin has pace, so guess what? That's going to help in that cause.
Yeah, right now he's trying to run down the general, Dwayne MacArthur. He's a little bit up there. As you see Chris Bates coming back on the racetrack, that allows Nelson to get by him, man. Chuck another one up. I think he had to actually go to the back with that penalty. So, I mean, the game here, I should say the sim, iRacing, gonna say he started 19th, up 3 spots, or up 6 spots. But he really started worse than that with the EOL. So, I mean, we're talking almost up 8 to 10 spots already for that 78. That is a drive, man. And Alan Wanamaker, that Krispy Kreme machine, gonna feel the wrath here next if he doesn't watch out. Because that 78, he's got some pace.
Yeah, ironically, Nelson's looking for that hole in the donut hole to squeeze through there, and that's exactly what he does. Nice pass here for the 78.
Yeah, I think Alan watched me at Spa. You know, he probably learned how to pull out of the way of those guys that are faster, because I wanted nothing to do with cold tire racing, John. And you got to think, we're only on lap 3. Tires probably just now starting to get to where you want them.
Yeah, and you know, the other thing is too, is guys know who's a really good, you know, road racer, who's not. And you know, if you got someone that's coming up behind and you just know, you know, you can look at the timesheet, you know, if you're 3 or 4 seconds off the pace, there's really no point in racing. We had one around there in the hairpin turn there.
Yeah, James Hislop, I believe, went around. I couldn't tell if he got help. It looked like, no, it was solo, John, just literally, like you said, yeah, I mean, you're driving in a little too deep, and if you already have that wheel cranked, you were going to hop those wheels and you're going to go around just like that.
Yeah, and Courtney is, yeah, those guys, that whole line, Courtney's in the back of that line there, so I don't know that that spin that Hislop had there is really going to hurt him too much. I don't think he probably hurt those tires a whole lot there, so that's good for him. And more importantly, he didn't hit anything.
No, and I think, you know, if we're believing these guys that you got to have a pit stop, I mean, the spin definitely not going to cost you maybe like it would have last week at Chicago where you tried to go the whole way. But, man, Courtney Nelson, here he comes.
He's picking him up, laying him down, isn't he?
I mean, this is impressive, you know. I mean, maybe the road course, John, not everybody's forte, but these guys are some dang good drivers. And for Courtney Nelson to drive by them like they're stuck in the sand, I mean, that's saying a lot. He is driving the wheels off this thing.
Yeah, early on, I kind of feel like he's got a pipeline to SVG, and but I'll tell you what, though, you know, I guess while we're on the subject of Nelson, he actually was our podcast guest today. Good talking with him, and the thing that's most impressive about what you're seeing is, you know, I talked to him a little bit about it today, is guess what? He wasn't a road racer by design. You know, he went out and he learned, he worked on his craft, and that is really impressive to be able to pick that up, because this stuff really isn't easy to do.
No, you know, especially if you don't come from that type of background, and you can see, I mean, he's making up time everywhere. Closes in on him in the braking zone. He gets even closer coming out of the corner. That is impressive, John. I mean, he's almost milking that car for all it's worth. If he could get some clean air, I'd love to see some lap times compared to maybe an Andrew Kotska. I mean, he's got to be in the ballpark.
Yeah, and both he and Hislop, those guys are teammates, so he's going to be extra careful around him and not put, you know, either one of them in a bad position here. But once he gets clear, and I think it's a matter of time before he does get clear of Hislop, he can go after Foltz and then set sail again. So there he goes, just outbraked Hislop going into the horseshoe. So yeah, Nelson, I think, is probably going to work himself up into the top 5, I think, but they're going to get a little more difficult from there on in.
No, and I think that's where you saw James. He didn't make it very difficult. Isn't as close as maybe he'd like to be.
Kenny Allen, by the way, pitted. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. So maybe Oh, okay. I'm hearing through from a race reporter here, Ryan, that he had an incident and had to tow. But John, out front, I mean, the lead, it's kind of staying around that 3.5 second. Do you think Andrew Kotska just maybe playing with the food a little bit, just taking it easy? You got that big lead. You don't have to run too hard.
Yeah, once you get a lead, and if you can look up and manage that lead and manage your equipment, everything else, that's what's ideal. Road course racing, especially, managing your gap and staying on track and not having to take any too many chances. Pushing is always the way to go on a road course.
Now, if I believe, I'm going to glance over here. We mentioned Roger Hurley, 31 points out. He's coming up on the back of Wanamaker there, John. This is important between those two. I mean, he's 2.5 seconds back, but if you're Hurley, you see that. I mean, you've got to want to go get it.
Yeah, I think so too. But like I said, with Luke Lane not being in here and Victor not being in here, this is an opportunity, and you got to kind of, I don't want to say play it safe, but you want to make sure that you're finishing. Right now, he's sitting P12. Yeah, I think going out there and get him. I think, like I said, get a top 10 out of this today is what you really want to be doing.
Now, John, normally we talk about this a little bit, and I'm going to be honest, shame on me, I haven't really done it. Do you know where the pit road speed limit cone is here for Sonoma? Can we maybe make up time, drive around that right-hand corner a little hard, or are we already at a pit road speed limit?
No, you can get around the corner. The pit road speed limit hits almost right before you actually enter the pit area. It's
okay,
you go all
there,
around
that
the corner.
Second yellow cone. Yep, we just caught it on the top of the screen. There's the 38 going around, pulling back on the racetrack. That, of course, is Bob Fellenbaum. He's going to be the last car on the lead lap now. Tough break for Bob, but well, that's interesting then, John. With green flag pit stops, I mean, I'm not trying to overdo this or exaggerate, but if you're good on the pit road here, you can probably make up a second or lose a second if, you drive too cautious on that long entry.
Zach, I'll tell you this. If you look, one of these times when we get a shot of the pit exit, that is actually where I want to watch, because the actual, where it ends in the pit wall, there's a discrepancy there. If you gas it up too early, or even just wait a little bit too late, you can lose time at pit exit too.
Believe there, I my pick of the race, Ryan's going to put it up here to rub it in. Scott Negus, I think he's going to get a little loose here. Just hop the wheels. Back end comes around, and boy, oh boy, you got to park it there for a while when you got a long line coming.
Yeah, and that's always frustrating for a driver too. You're watching the train go by and you're not on it. But Scott's resilient.
Something else happens to him here, Ryan. Stay on him. Yeah, big shot, because I'm live on my screen and Negus is taking his trip down pit road. Tough break there. I'm sorry I did that to you, Scott.
Yeah, Scott, but he kind of warned us for tonight, so I don't know that he had the highest of expectations. But yeah, you know what though, this track, there's so many. That's the thing I love about road course racing, and I hate about road course racing, because there's so many opportunities for you to make a mistake. We're on an oval. Oh, you missed turn one, you can regain the rest of your lap. Well, here, you get up. You let's just say you mess up on the top of the hill. Well, you're not out of danger, because you got 10 more corners to go before 10 more opportunities to make mistakes along the way before your lap's done.
I'll tell you what.
That's
Look
fun.
at Courtney Nelson there, John. He just drove by Lushan like he was sitting still. I mean, and we talked about how good that 3 is. Courtney Nelson, man, he is. The wind has hit the sails.
Yeah. Yeah, Dwayne MacArthur is back up the road a little bit here.
It's interesting, too, these top, really 5. I mean, Kotska has kind of pulled away now, but 2nd through 5th, I mean, they're all right there. Jerry Isaacs can see all those guys? I mean, even back a little bit. Or no, that's a lap car, excuse me, behind Jerry Isaacs. Because it is a ways back here to Dwayne MacArthur and Courtney Nelson. But Courtney Nelson now trying to be that next guy back. And
yeah, Nelson, that was almost an accident going up that hill. MacArthur braked early, and then Nelson had to lock him up not to hit him.
Let's see here. MacArthur not going to give it to him there. I thought maybe he was pulling over to kind of let him have it. But if he did that there, I think he's going to open himself up to a pass to Lushin. Now he opens the door. He can cut right down behind. And that's how you do it, John. You let that quick guy go.
Whoa, Nelson.
Whoa, boy, oh boy. He
and
gassed
you know,
it up a little hard.
You want to be careful not to use up those rear tires. If you do that, because believe it or not, the tire wear on the back end of the car on this track is hugely important.
Now mark it in your little book somewhere.
And he's struggling. That car is loose. I'm wondering if he doesn't have grip.
Yeah, I mean, he's had to use a lot of it to get there.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But right now, 18.6 seconds off the lead is Courtney Nelson. Long, long way to go here. 40 laps to go, John. I mean, if anyone can do it, it's a 78. I know it's asking a lot, but there's a good chance we see him on the podium if he keeps plugging away.
Yeah, and there's not going to be an opportunity to catch a caution either. We got localized cautions here in road racing, so it's not like he can catch a caution and get the field bunched back up. So that's another big disadvantage of all the weeks to get an EOL. Road course is really not the one that you want to get an EOL at.
Ooh, not the time to catch lap traffic either. If you're Josh Robinson, look at this. All of a sudden, Jerry Isaacs all over the deck lid here now as they got to slow down for that Pepsi machine of Paris. Robinson gonna try to look to the inside here, but not really much of a spot to pass there, John. There he goes, but he's doing a good job of keeping it straight. Oh boy, if he gets loose there in front of those leaders, that could have been nasty, but good job by Paris keeping that thing straight.
Yeah, and it did create a battle though between the 23 and the 51 here. So, but immediately it looks like Robinson gets a better launch out of that corner to separate a little bit.
Yeah, and you know, Isaacs, you gotta feel for that guy. I mean, right now, barring some serious misfortune, he's gonna make the playoffs, John. But how often have we seen this guy run around in 4th and 5th place, just with the win right there, right out there to grab it, but just coming up short?
Yeah, but you know what? You keep doing the things that Jerry's doing, knocking down top fives. Things are going to fall your way eventually, and you're going to get a win. And I'm going to bet if Jerry probably packs a win in, you might see a couple 2-3 follow pretty quick behind it.
Andrew Kotska, he's having to work his way through lap traffic now. He had just gotten by 2 guys, but it allowed Daniel Hill to get that lead back down to around the 3-second mark. So we always talk about it, John. You know, the guy in second, he's going to get around those lap cars, I think, a little easier than, you know, the first. But I guess, you know, I take that all back. Here at the road course, no cautions. You got to think lappers probably getting out of the way for everyone.
Yeah, especially the guys at the back. We talked about it in the qualifying. You know, 6 or 5 seconds. What was it between first and last there? If you're that far behind on pace, there is absolutely no reason at all to hold anybody up or try to keep you in your spot, because you're inevitably going to get past. So, you know what? Don't put somebody in a bad spot or yourself in a bad spot trying to stay on the lead lap here.
And, you know, John, I mean, you just kind of guided us through that. It looked like Gavin there, he had put himself in a bad spot. He lost some spots. And then Crisco, the man up ahead of Daniel, he went off the racetrack too. So, you know, it's just one of those things where maybe not aware of who's around you, then all of a sudden you are aware, and, well, emotions take over. You kind of skirt off the racing line. You're not used to it. Man, it can go hayward fast.
Well, you know, anytime, and then these guys have probably experienced on the ovals too. If you get up out of the groove where the marbles are, you lose all kinds of traction. The car doesn't turn or whatever, whether it be short tracks to speedways. Here, this is no different. There's a lot of track usage in there. I see a lot of marbles out. on the edges there. You go out there and get your tires in that, even though you might be getting out of the way of somebody, you pick up all that debris, all of a sudden you're not making the turn anymore. Even though you're slowing down, more than you normally would, it just doesn't matter if you get all that stuff on your tires.
I'll tell you what, Ryan, your instincts were correct there whenever you showed the 51 roll by Guarisco at the end of the S's. Guarisco was lifting to let those guys by. The cojones you guys saw on that pass, man, that it took to make that move and not lift there in the S's. Oh man, that could be a move that gets Isaac up into fourth. Yeah, that's big time. He did not want to lose the rear bumper of Robinson, and oh man, now he's feeling himself. He looks on the inside, couldn't get it done though. As we take a look, he could have fall back in line. Now, I'm telling you, that 51, he's feeling himself after that move, John. You know what that stroke of confidence does for you.
Absolutely, but going back to that, where I said trust back there. This is one of the things I think makes this league so strong. You can trust your competitors. I mean, do mistakes happen every now and again? Well, absolutely they do. But I'll tell you, there's not a soul out there that I don't think you can put some level of trust into.
I mean, Isaac's could have went. He could have slapped the bumper sticker on that thing going through the hairpin. He was right there. One mistake by Josh, and Isaacs is going to be there to swoop him up. But right now, John, he's one of our favorite drivers. I'm not going to lie. I mean, we love all you guys, but Tom Ogle is a special place in our heart. Look at this guy. I mean, showing some road course speed. He's reeling in the trash man. We may have a battle for second here before too long.
Yeah, and you know what? We're 15 laps, working lap 15 here, now 50 here. So we got to pass for 51 and the 23 back there. Almost there.
Yeah, that's 2 laps in a row, man. Because I got excited last time and made Ryan switch back. He is going for it there. He is the way he's entering the braking zone. He maybe doesn't have the acceleration off, how you say, John, in like a lamb out like a lion, but I think he's being enough of a lion going into the corner that it's maybe making up for what Josh has coming off exit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I've been watching this battle for a while. Isaacs is really good at outbraking Josh getting into the corner, but Josh is kind of, and I think that's by design too, because I think Josh is backing his corners up and then really, accelerating out of the corner better than what Jerry's doing. So it's kind of, I've been watching it, it's kind of almost like a yo-yo effect. They close up corner entry, Josh gaps them a little bit on corner exit. And that's kind of been the case almost on every corner on the track.
Yeah, you mentioned trust. You got to have a lot of it if you're Josh Robinson. You got to keep your eyes out of that rearview mirror, because when the guy's driving in that deep, John, you know how intimidating that can be to maybe make you lift out of the brake, overdrive the corner yourself. That is not easy to hold off that guy when he is full in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, I've been on the track when I know who's behind me, especially on the asphalt side of things, and I know that their tendency is to overdrive corners. You know what? I cringe because I wait to get hit, and usually those folks that I kind of worry about usually don't let me down. And, and by no means is Jerry overdriving the corners. They're doing exactly what they need to be doing here, and that's where that trust factor. I'll bet Josh is, he's worried about Isaac's getting a run somewhere, absolutely, but I don't think he's probably too worried about Isaac plowing into him.
In case anyone was wondering, because I sure as heck am, Courtney Nelson, he's taken about 3/4 of a second out of that gap. And that was 6 laps ago, John. So, he's reeling him in. It's not going to be enough to get to the front, I don't think, without some help. But, he is getting closer to Robinson and Isaac. So, the harder those guys battle, the quicker he's going to get to him. And he is only 6 seconds off the bumper there of that 51.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, I tell you, guys are really struggling getting power down. I am watching the back end of cars all through the pack, just dance around getting that power down. So, I talked about the tire wear along the back of the car, those rear tires. Man, I really think towards the end of this run, I'm going to bet that some of these guys are going to be really happy to get a new set of sneakers on those cars. Probably around lap, 24, 25, or 26, somewhere right in that range.
Yeah, I mean, and John, I mean, that's what we saw in the race today. When's the last time you saw a guy in the top 3 duck down pit road with, 15 to go to come get fresh tires at a road course? I mean, if they're struggling with it in real life, I imagine they're struggling with it here as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're all over a second off the pace they were. So, you do the math. If somebody around you pits and you go 3 or 4 laps longer, that's probably going to bite you, because if you're only pitting 3 or 4 laps longer, guess what? You're not gaining that second a lap back. You're just not.
No, and with the fall off that we're seeing, with the uncomfortableness that they have to have with the rear tires sliding, I mean, John, I think you hit the nail on the head. Lap 25. That's when we got to see the majority of guys come down pit road. Oh man, I couldn't tell. Was that the 92 of Hislop? Oh, James Hislop with a hard shot on the left front. John, this thing, that ain't going to want to turn. He's going to have to come down pit road. That was a big hit.
Yeah, the car snapped. He overcorrected, and he kissed it again after that. But yeah, he's off the pace, so I got a feeling he probably will. He's not hitting those apexes very well going through the S's there.
No, that is a tough break for James Hislop, man. That's not what he needed. He needed a good points night.
Well, he's got to win. So, that's always good for on that side of things. If you got that win, you got that security blanket there in hand. So, I try to gobble up some points here maybe towards the end of it, and maybe improve your playoff positioning. But, yeah, that's a tough break for James.
Yeah, see, that's what I need you for, John. I confused him with the other black and red car, Roger Hurley, the man that does need the points. So, thank you for the rescue there. As you see, man, they have... this gap, John, it stayed the same. If you're Isaacs at this point, okay, let's say we come to lap 25, you see the man in front of you pull down pit road. Do you follow him, or do you try maybe one lap by yourself, see if you can't get in front of him, or maybe, doing the old style overcut?
You may stay out there one lap longer, I suppose, because, I do think that Robinson's probably holding Jerry up just a little bit, but Jerry, historically, he's the one that pits comes in and pits early here. So he generally does the undercut. So we'll see here how that plays out. But these two guys, man, there's a lot of traffic ahead of them. Ogle and Hill just cleared them, but there's a couple cars now in a row here that they're going to have to work around.
Don't say that too loud, John, because the Shark in the 78. Yeah, oh man, look at that.
Whoa.
That's what happens, maybe get a little uncomfortable. You try to get off the racing line, and that's where, all right, John, so I don't mean this rude, and I think you'd agree with me. Nobody would hate the lap cars for that, but if you're Josh Robinson or any guy, approaching lap traffic, you want those guys to stay where they're comfortable. I will go around you. I'm the quicker car. I'll find a way around you. You do what's comfortable to you.
Yeah, and that works primarily towards dirt. The usual etiquette on asphalt races, you get up out of the line and let the leaders, have way there. And but the differences in speed here between some of these guys, 4 or 5 seconds. Think about it on the highway. If you're on the highway going, 80 mile an hour, and you come up on somebody that's going 60. How many times has that caught you off guard? It's like, whoa, and you had to make a sudden lane change. That's what you just saw there.
Yeah, it's you can see right behind those guys, Ryan. Click one more spot down. We're not even going to have to change cameras. Look at how close Courtney Nelson is. After that close call, he is within 3 seconds. Oh, man. The Shark smells the blood.
Yeah, and I saw the 73 there have a lot of front wheel damage. Looked like he broke an upper control arm, pulled off to the side of the road there. So another one bites the dust here. Looked like Torrance Childs probably got into the wall somewhere. So tough break for him.
Yeah, we're going to try to maybe get a little look at what happened. But, yeah, I think at that point, it didn't look like he really overdrove that, John. I wonder if there was maybe some contact before, because the car just, I don't know, man, not looking the best there, but who knows? Even now, as I'm watching him, he's not really hitting the apexes. He's kind of coasting this thing. It'll be interesting to see if he comes down pit road. But look at Tom Ogle, man. All over the back is the 59 of Foltz. He goes around. He's running 9th, John, but now Lushin, he's going to have a little bit of a breathing. No, he doesn't. He doesn't have any breathing room, because let's go to Lushin. Here he goes. He's trying to think about making a move on Dwayne MacArthur here. Couldn't do it when they approached the lap traffic, but man, he is right there.
Yeah, we got battles all over the track here. This is another good one here, and they got a lap car of Massey up the road here, and it'll be interesting to see how these guys navigate around the lap traffic again.
Yeah, we'll watch this for just a little bit, but I'm telling you, Courtney Nelson's about to make it a 3-car battle for 4th here. He is right there.
Oh, and Lushin caught the curb, and what a save by Lushin.
Only lost about a half a second there to MacArthur, John. You're not kidding. To be able to grab that thing and barely lose any time, good job there by the 3 of Lushin. And Isaacs, man, he's got to, you know, John, you got to feel for him. And, you know, Josh doing what he needs to do, but I think we both kind of see it. Isaac's a little bit faster than Josh, but maybe not enough to get around. And, man, you are stuck between a rock and a hard place when you see this rocket ship coming up in your rearview mirror.
Yeah, a sense of urgency spiking just a little bit. And this is where, you know, Isaacs is kind of a sly fox here, and we're around lap 23 or so. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see him pull on down pit road here. The next lap or two will be one of the first ones to be there. I mean, just, you know, historically speaking, he usually is. And this would be probably a good opportune time to do it, because with that 78 closing in, you're going to buy some time coming out on that fresh rubber. But
Tom Ogle.
Ogle's not under power.
No, something had to happen to Ogle, because there he clicked the escape button to tow to get off the racetrack. That is... no, he didn't. He's still out there. I thought he towed. It looked like to me he disappeared on my screen.
I wonder if like his wheel or pedals came unplugged or something.
You know, sometimes I flash like that and come back. I warn you guys.
Nelson and Isaacs are in pit road.
Yes, they are. Jerry Isaacs coming down. Courtney Nelson gonna follow.
I told Jerry. I knew Jerry was gonna come sooner rather than later. I got that one right. But I did not expect Nelson to come in. So any advantage that Isaacs was gonna gain, but you know. But here's the thing. You know, the new tire model. We really haven't talked about this. We talked about all the time you can make up on pit road, but you know, going out on cold tires, if you're out lap, you can gain a ton of time now on your out lap. If you can get out there and get going a little better, get your tires up to temperature quicker than your competitors, you can make a bunch of time up that way. No, and Isaacs made a bunch of time on pit road, man.
Hey, man.
Isaacs is gone, and Nelson's just now getting the speed. Wow.
That is exactly what I was going to say, John. I mean, that's unbelievable. He was right behind. I'm not sure, maybe the 78 overshot his pit stall, but boy, oh boy, Isaacs came out. We got a car sideways in front of Isaacs. Let's watch this. Gonna stick to the inside. Couldn't tell who that was. I think it was Martindale in the 93. Getting confirmation it is Martindale. He did a good job just sitting still here. Gonna let all the leaders go by. Boy, oh boy, that probably made the 51's heart sink there for a moment.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't need that, but you know, he needs to get those tires up to temps quick so he can start making hay with those new tires.
I'll tell you, 7 seconds off the back of Isaacs is Courtney Nelson. So there is definitely some mistake happened on pit road. He is not going to be happy with himself here, but what do they say, John? Nobody to blame but me, right? I mean, he's just got to look in the mirror there. And that's going to be tough after, you know, having such a good run, man. Starting in the back and racing your way up there. Now he's got to do it all over again.
Yeah, I mean, without going back and looking, I mean, it's possible that Isaacs might have just got into pit road.
Here comes your leader.
Remember we talked about that.
He got in the wall, John. Kotska drove it in so deep down into pit road. I mean, you talk about using all of it. He smashed that left front in the wall. It looks like it's okay, but boy, oh boy, he was.
That is what I was just gonna say. Is that entry? Remember where we talked about where the pit road speed is? You've got that whole corner to try to get what you can get, and it bit Kotska. But I'm wondering if that's not where Isaacs got that advantage.
Very well could have been. We'll have to see how well Kotska here, arguably the best advantage. Number 1 pit stall, MacArthur. Let's see, Ryan. Can we maybe see his pit road entry? Did he slam the wall there? Because that is a tough break for MacArthur. That is, oh, man.
Oh, we got one into the wall down the hairpin, 38. But, yeah, I'm watching a lot of these guys slowing way down to make that into pit road there. And, yeah, I'm going to say you can get a lot of time if you can get through there at a decent speed. But watching MacArthur and Ogle here, and Ogle's actually going to come out in front of the 78 here, but until Tom had that issue, Tom was way up the road from Nelson, so that's a tough break for Ogle.
I'm guessing Ryan didn't get one because I didn't get one either. I had to actually rewind. But boy, Dwayne MacArthur's shot coming out of the S's, that was crazy, and we saw his car all smoking. I can't believe he was able to drive that thing back to pit road. He clips the curbs. There we go. Look at that shot, John. I mean, just hooked the left side tires on the curb, nailed it, and man,
that is such
lucky.
A fast place to do that too. And man, oh man, that is a hard hit.
Dude, that's,
look at that.
No kidding. That is the hardest shot you're going to see here at Sonoma, no doubt. I mean, that is unbelievable. And, man, that may be all she wrote there for Dwayne MacArthur.
Yeah, that's a shot.
Or no, it won't be all she wrote, John, because I forgot. They get the one quick repair.
Yeah.
Yep, yeah. So he's already back out there. Good for him.
Normally that's the kind of shot that he's going to have to go find his Canadian whiskey to shake that one off. But hey, we do got a mulligan here at the road course.
Most definitely. And, you know, John, so much was going on there. Ryan's got it. Or, no, he doesn't. That's Courtney Nelson. But look who got around Josh at Robinson using some pit strategy, John. Jerry Isaacs up to third.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was thinking was going to happen. You know, it's like if you pit early here, you get a lap or two in. There's an advantage to be had if you're like nose to tail to somebody being the first one to blink. And Isaacs just proved that. So, yeah, nice job for Jerry.
Yeah, and according to the total pit stop time, 1.8 seconds faster than Josh Robinson getting on and off pit road. So, very well could have been the difference. And now he gets to see if he can go up here with the trash man, Daniel Hill. But, man, oh, man, still, you got to wonder what happened to Tom Ogle. Glad he's still out there racing. You see him right behind that 78, but man, he was up there. He was another one who was quick, John. I think he was just kind of laying in the weeds.
Yeah, I almost, just like I said, almost kind of looked like, you know, almost like something came unplugged, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know if that's what it is, but just kind of had that look.
Did you see? I mean, he's not as fast as Courtney Nelson, but this is almost where if you're, oh, watch out! Chris Bates, oh, man. Courtney Nelson, oh, man, do you think he has the you-know-what bar in there? He was reaching up and grabbing because that was, oh, my gosh.
Yeah, and that's almost dead center in the track, too. Yowzers. I mean, Ogle, too. I mean, both of those guys.
Now, what do you think, John? We've seen a couple people lose it there. Is it just the elevation change? You know, you're going downhill, then you're going uphill quick under braking?
Well, you know, I touched on it at the top of the show. You're going uphill in a braking zone, but the problem is you know, you want to keep your wheel straight in a heavy braking zone. Keep your wheel straight as you've got the most amount of brake in it, and that area up there does not allow you to keep your wheel straight. So you're trying to trail brake it, you know, all without losing, you know, and still trying to make corners, because that's not a straight line up that hill. You try to make it as straight as you can, but it's not. You're not going to make it completely straight, and that's why, to me, that is a very difficult area. And a lot of those guys are, if you listen, they're lifting way early going up that hill and letting the engines kind of, you know, blow them up a little bit as they downshift.
Now, you don't have to go back to him, Ryan, but he just showed Kotska, and I have a feeling he did it for this reason. That last time by, right when he crossed the line, John, a 1:15.75. That's quicker than qualifying. Andrew Kotska, he is in the zone out front.
Gotten in a rhythm, and evidently that damage didn't do anything along pit road there. But just real quick, we probably should give an update on, you know, some guys that have packed up and headed back to the East Coast here. But Andrew Medlin, Scott Negus, and Gavin Adams have all called it a day already.
Yeah, one of those tracks that maybe don't want to write home to mama about, but John, we're done with the road courses for a while. I don't think we see one again until the playoffs.
Yeah, nice thing is early. You pack it up early, you get to the vineyards early, I guess, before you head home. It gives you that opportunity. But I know everybody would rather be out on the track here, and you know, sometimes those days happen when you race long enough. You're gonna. Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug.
It's, you know, speaking of windshield, Tom Ogle, I mentioned how, you know, you use one of these, John, you know, you get a fast guy out in front, use him. And Tom Ogle, man, he's doing that. You know, he's been able to maybe discover, hey, Courtney's overdriving it here. You know, maybe I was underdriving it. Let's try this. And, I mean, he's keeping pace. This is a good run here from Tommy.
Yeah, I knew once Courtney got up into the top 5, the passes were going to be a whole lot harder to come by. The top 5 were a lot closer in speed than the whole field, you know, and that's showing to be the case here. So, I mean, Nelson almost kind of get sideways there through the S's. So, I think the top 5, yeah, if you're going to get around somebody there, I think your pit strategy, like what Jerry Isaacs did, I actually think that was probably the best strategy to gain spots up there.
Yeah, Tom Ogle, though, you know, his last lap, John, his fastest lap of the race, so 1:16.75. They're 3/4 of a second quicker than those two guys in front. And I'm telling you, yeah, Tom there, he closes in on him there through that final corner. He is maybe, you know, it's like how Ed was teaching me some things. You learn, you know, maybe, hey, I'm under driving this corner. It can gain you 4/10, you know, going in and coming off. And that might be what we're seeing. You can't write off this battle yet. Tom may get him back.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. You know, it's a lot of fun out there when you got good battles, especially on road courses. You know, the cat and mouse games that can be had and opportunities you can have to pass in different ways, too. It's a lot of fun when you can get out there and do that.
Now, you know, let's just highlight the man right now, 16th in points, Alan Wanamaker. Scratching my head a little, John. You know, I don't see the advantage of staying out here slipping and sliding if we can't make it the whole way on gas. Has Alan maybe been saving, going to try to go the whole way? Because he was the only guy to not come down pit road.
I mean, it's always possible. I mean, I think I could have made it really close, but I'm going to tell you, I was probably going slower than anybody on this track by a pretty good distance, so I don't know if I'd recommend trying to save it that way, because you're going to lose several laps in the process, and you're not going to make that up by just staying out.
And we're seeing Lushan kind of close in on him, and James Hislop, even after the mistake, you know, had that damage needed to pit early on, John. He has raced his way back up into almost contention here. I mean, he's in the top 10, has a chance at a top 5. I mean, it's a stretch. He's got to get going, but Hislop, he's got some pace.
Yeah, and Chris Bates, too, by the way, who we just saw sideways a few moments ago, he has taken it back to the hauler, too, and called it a day. So add another one. This is going to be a higher than normal attrition rate, that's for sure.
No, and Bates was 19th. I think Fellenbaum and Embassy are still out there driving, so they'll each be able to gain another spot here, it's looking like. Good for those two. That's why you keep plugging away. As you see, man, the 11 plugging away right behind that 78 of Courtney Nelson. Those two, if only they could draft here, John, you know, maybe find some more time, but that ain't going to help you here. Look at that. Oh, slipping and sliding. Somebody threw the banana peel out there.
Yeah, when you're battling somebody, and you know, and I talked about cat and mouse games, and sometimes that cat and mouse game can be a game of chicken into the corner. So who's gonna break the leg? You know, who's gonna be the last one to break? You know, while that can be fun, but that's also a good way to get yourself in trouble if you go beyond the limits.
No, and you can see now. I mean, the lap times have kind of fallen for Courtney. He's back down in the 117s, maybe feeling the pressure of Tom behind him. You know, you start overdriving here, start overdriving there, and it can really, I mean, you see he's still sliding, John, maybe just a little too happy to get back on that accelerator, and the tires just don't want to respond.
Yeah, and this is a track I've been watching all through the pack. I mean, I would have to think if we took a poll here, I bet you a lot of guys are seeing a lot more rear tire wear than they normally see almost anywhere else. And you know, you also, you know, in some of these corners, you're leaning on that right rear or left rear too. So it's just not that launch out of corner, but it's the centering speeds, especially a couple of these that are off camber corners up towards the top of the hill there. You really want both tires hooked up to the track, or you're going to be really uncomfortable.
We're watching that 3-car battle for 7th. All this is for position. You got Wanamaker, Lushin, and Hislop here. Hislop has been able to reel both of those guys in, and man, this is maybe you try to find the 2-for-1 discount here. Those guys get racing, you pick them off both while they got caught sleeping. Oh no, Wanamaker. Yeah, he's going to dive down pit road.
Yeah, and this is where I think going long on your pit stop really hurts you, because okay, those guys had newer tires, so there's a couple laps where they're significantly faster, but you're losing that time, but then you're also losing time on your exit too. So, you know, as you get the tires up to speed, yeah, you're going to see a little advantage, but even if it's just a quarter of a second or even a half a second advantage at that point, that's really not enough to overcome that, you know, that 2 or 3 laps, losing that second a lap. Yeah, I just don't see how you gain it back unless you're really, really fast.
No, and the tire advantage I don't think is really there to help you with your overtakes either, yeah. John. And, you know, I mean, you kind of hit that nail on the head. I just don't see. We've seen some guys battling, you know, and a good battle on the racetrack at a road course can cost you 2 seconds. So by the time you even catch that guy and get around and use those new tires, well, you got a whole big gap you got to run down again. And I think that's just why, you know, they normally say at the road courses, track position's king.
Yeah, and since I think Wanamaker is definitely holding those 2 guys up, since Wanamaker pitted, Lushin has kind of, I don't want to say checked out, but is starting to kind of gap the 92 of Hislop.
You know, it was interesting to see there. I mean, Wanamaker, he's off the pit road now. He's back out there. He only lost 3 spots. I mean, he fell back to 10th. And Brian Lynch now a little behind him in that 9 machine. But all in all, for Alan Wanamaker, maybe, you know, didn't kill him too bad. And, I mean, he's going to be right in front of the trash man, Daniel Hill. He is a lap down right now. But I think, John, you got new tires. This is where you channel your inner Tom Ogle and you say, hey, where's this guy fast?
Yeah, and oh my gosh, Ogle, speaking of Ogle and Courtney, boy, they are in a hornet's nest here at the... Wow. That corner leading up to that horseshoe, that whole area through there with those guys, that got sketchy. That was pretty good stuff there.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. They are pinned down, hammer to the floor. And if you're able to make those moves, catch the sliding race cars, it's nuts. And Tom Ogle, he slides the rear end a little bit there, picking up the throttle. He was feeling good, was closing in on the 78, and it just shows John, I mean, even if you stomp it, about, I want to say 50 to 75 feet out of the corner, you can still spin those tires even when you're going straight.
Yeah, absolutely. And those guys, just looking at, judging by the eyeball test, those two guys are reeling in Robinson, though. So this might be a three-car battle here after just a few laps, especially if Robinson happens to get caught between a lap car that he's got to wait a few corners on to get around. That'll make a three-car battle here really fast.
Yeah.
Nelson's out of control.
Oh, Courtney, hang on to her, brother.
Wow. There's your save of the day.
That furniture row machine held on.
He hit a curb. He hit a curb and lost that grip to that track. And wow.
That's the same curb that we saw. I believe that was who took that hard hit, John. I'm having trouble even remembering.
Was it his loss?
Dwayne MacArthur. Dwayne MacArthur. Yeah, that's the same curve, but he caught it a little less, not as much on the left side, able to straighten it out. John, the fact that he can still see the back of that 11, wow.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Courtney Nelson, he said that he's going to join that BRL Dirt League and come out and run with us on Friday. After seeing that car and handle it on the dirt like that, I don't think I want him there, man. It looks like he's going to be stout on the dirt.
Yeah, I mean, guys are going to think you're joking, but if you can hang on to that thing, you can probably drive a dirt late model once you train yourself a little bit, because that is not easy to do, man. And now Tom Ogle here, he's going to catch lap traffic and Nyson got out of the way, but it wasn't inopportune time at first. Tommy not going to lose too much spots, but I'll tell you, Courtney Nelson, he loops it. Yeah, he saw the chance. Tom was getting held up by that lap car, so he tried to drive it in deep here, and you can see he just loses the rear end, washes around, and man, this has not been a fun couple laps here for the 78.
No, I would have to think now, he was top 5 before these mistakes here, so he's got a significant amount of time to try to make up. And lap 37 here, I just don't think he's got enough time to catch Ogle. And now Ogle, for him, he no longer has to worry about that 78, and he's been closing on that 23. So, 13 laps in the distance between he and Robinson. I think we're going to see a battle for that 4th and 5th spot.
Yeah, the first two guys in your running order are the fastest two on the racetrack in that order. But next,
Paris is off in front of 51 there.
Yes, he is. He's going to straighten it back out there. The Pepsi machine gets straight. But, John, like you were saying, Tom Ogle, man, he's the 3rd fastest car on the racetrack right now. So not only is Josh Robinson, in his radar, I mean, Jerry Isaacs, not that far up there, John. And Jerry's dealing with Alan Wanamaker right now, trying to put him down and gets to the inside. But all this has allowed these guys to just reel him in.
Yeah, well, you heard me say it just a couple of laps ago. If you get caught up at the wrong part of the track behind a lap car and you've got to wait a couple of corners to get around them, it's amazing how much time you lose just by being patient, kind of doing the right thing. But you can lose a massive amount of time getting stuck behind somebody that's, 5-6 seconds slower than what you are.
Man, you can see Tom whip that wheel to the left there coming out of that right-hander. He was really driving that thing. For all it's worth, yeah. He is all in the mail.
He can see Robinson at this point, and he's closed massively on him here. So, yeah, that's that dog chasing that rabbit. That rabbit is right out in front of him now.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I am rooting for Josh, and I'm rooting for Jerry, but I'd love to pick Tom's brain if he gets 3rd here and, just see if he maybe found some speed running behind Courtney, because he was quick before, but this is not the same guy we were watching in the first run. He has got speed. He is hanging it out there, and man, he's probably 3, maybe 2 laps away from making this thing a battle for 4th.
Yeah, and Tom, this is one of the hardest things for me to anyway do on a road course, or even an oval for that matter, is you can visually see yourself closing on that guy. You're quicker than him, but you're not really close enough to race him yet. And instead of trying to push to get to that guy to try to make the pass, it's so hard to stay within yourself and continue to race the track. Continue to do what's got you in the position to start reeling that driver in. You know, you've got to really do that until it's time to race. If you start trying to figure out ways to pass too early and start trying to race that guy when you're in a position not to really do anything with them, that's where mistakes can happen.
I think it's important for Josh to get Alan right here. And let's see, Alan left the bottom open. He is going to let him go. Does he let Tom go too? This is important. He does. Okay, yep. I was going to say, if Josh got stuck there, I think Tom might have had a run going into that final corner, but Alan played nice.
Yeah, or if Tom got stuck behind Wanamaker there, you know, that would have given Josh a lot of breathing room here. But, oh, man, Ogle, man, he is pushing. And, you know, like I said, you know, do what you do until you actually get there and can race them. But it looks like Tom is really good on the braking, and I think he's out-braking Josh significantly right now. Josh isn't really pulling him too far out of the corner, but Tom is really making up ground on corner entry.
Yeah, and Josh Robinson, I don't know if you guys saw it from your view, but he slapped that inside wall, and it unsettled the race car, and all of a sudden, Tom Ogle is right there.
And you got Garisco there. Oh, right in the line, too. Garisco is just kind of taking it easy through here.
Yeah, and Josh not going to be able to get a run here. Oh, he does. He's going to take the peak now. This puts Ogle in a tough spot. No, Garisco stays out. I was going to say, if he took the, you know, John, how important it is to float up and catch that curve. If he would have pinched Ogle there, that could have cost him some time.
Yeah, now we have a race for 4th and 5th, that's for sure here. And got about 9 laps to get it settled, which normally you're like, oh, 9 laps to go. You got to get on it, pay windows open. But, Zach, we're on a big old road course. 9 laps is still quite a bit of time.
Yeah, definitely. And we got 7 seconds up to 3rd and then 7 more seconds up to 2nd. So pretty even gap between 2nd, 3rd, and 4th here. But this is the battle. Ogle looking to the outside, going to try to maybe diamond off, get a run, can't do it, slides the front tires. And, you know, John, I know this is a road course, but when you start to get close, do you maybe feel a little bit of that aero wash front end start to push on you?
Maybe a little. These are such low-speed corners. I don't know if you're really going to feel it that much. Oh, man, mistake there by Robinson.
And he knew he made a mistake.
Yep.
That's why he's the champ, John. You know, I mean, he realizes 5th is still good. Yep, and you make the mistake. You got the dragon breathing down your neck. Just let him fly on by.
Yeah, and Ogle immediately stretches that out, so that really killed Josh's momentum here. I don't know if Tom is that much faster than Josh. It was just that's the difference a mistake can make.
Yeah, and, you know, maybe Josh just wanting to catch his breath, not do it again here, because he knows when he takes a look at that relative, I mean, there's nothing really for him to compete for now. If he can hang on to 5th, that's where he's going to be. He's 22 seconds ahead of Nelson. So, I mean, this is pretty much you just bring this thing home.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't make it easy, but in the same token, you know, you've heard me say it a few times, don't put yourself in a bad spot. Don't put another driver in a bad spot. And sometimes putting that other driver in a bad spot is you making your car wide and making the other guy have to take chances, who is clearly much faster than you are, to have to really be aggressive to overtake. And then sometimes, I mean, you know, if it's like 2 laps to go, sure, you do that. But, you know, like we were talking about, 8, 9 laps to go, a long way to go. I don't know if it's really time yet to really do that kind of stuff. And that's why, you know, that's how you win championships. You know, you take what the car and the track will give you on that given day. Sometimes it'll give you a win. Sometimes it gives you a 5th. You take what you can get and you move on. Smart driving there by Robinson.
Now, I only get down to the 100th, not the 1000th. But, John, in a 1.99 mile, 10-turn road course, would you believe me if I told you Jerry Isaacs and Tom Ogle just ran the same lap the last time around? A 1:17.97. I mean, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunately for Ogle, that's not going to help him catch Isaacs here before the end of the race. So, you know, you got to be a little bit quicker than that. Well, for the time difference between the two of them, you got to be much quicker than that. So, I think now that he's got him cleared, you know what? Start racing on the track again, and maybe, just maybe, Isaacs makes a little slip up there in that that gap shrinks rapidly.
Yeah, you can see there Isaac's right when he crossed the line. Ogle was coming out of the hairpin corner, the final corner, so he is about a full straightaway behind. Definitely not going to be easy here if he wants to go run him down. Got his work cut out for him, about 7.3 seconds, but I think, John, you know, that may be what we have to make a story out of, unless Hislop and Lushin start battling here, but Hislop a little ways back off of that 3 of Lushin. Let's see, do we got any lap cars maybe battling hard here as we scroll around?
I think the field's pretty well stretched out here, and now it's a matter of watching the guys up front here. And you know, I guess, hey, Dan Hill right now is in a bunch of traffic. That's probably the most exciting thing happening. He just got out of the way, but he's got Sean Foltz right up the track, and Dan's running second. So one of these guys make a mistake, you know, that could complicate Dan's race.
Now, do you know what makes me excited about Dan being in traffic? That means Jerry's going to be in traffic in a couple of laps here, John. True. And man, Tom Ogle, that may be what he needs. You know, we're not wishing any luck, or bad luck, excuse me, on Jerry Isaacs. But boy, oh boy, you catch traffic at the wrong time, and Tommy could be right there.
Yep, like I said, you get stuck behind him for a couple, 2-3 corners, and you can lose a second and a half, and that cuts that lead that Ogle has, the deficit Ogle has, you know, in half.
You can see this is another kind of case here. Sean Foltz, he's been able to get behind that 7 of Daniel Hill, and maybe seen him pick up a little bit of pace, not as quick as Daniel Hill, but Foltz, guy, John, we've seen him win this season. He's no stranger to going fast.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this too. The one thing that I've seen here today, and it kind of reiterates what I've said about this whole group here in OBRL being just solid. I've seen a lot of guys, good sportsmanship. You know, when you got somebody that's quicker, even if it's a battle for position, guys are giving each other the room, or, you know, flat out getting out of the way, just not to cause that on-track issue, and that's actually really good to see. I think they're still racing for some of these positions, but if there's a big difference between lap times, you know, and somebody is significantly faster, guys are just you know, being good sports about it and making sure that, hey, you know, let's just race, but let's race cleanly and not put each other in bad spots, which is awesome.
No, yeah, you hit that nail on the head. You know, I think Josh, he was like, hey, we're going to race for 4th as long as I'm smooth. And then when he made that little mistake, he's like, no reason to drive it off in here double wide. You go see if you can get Jerry here. I'll try to watch the show. And right now, Josh Robinson got around Tom Ogle. Tom Ogle got around Rob. What's going on here? This is a little weird. I also have
Ogle slowed down again. Ogle slowed down again. Yeah, that's I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, this is, I'm trying to rewind to see him do it too here, Ryan, to see if I can help you. He had already passed him. Okay, he slows down coming out of turn 1 and 2. Almost comes to a complete stop there. He does the blink thing again, which that leads me to my point. So, John, I don't know if you remember, whenever I get in the car and I'm streaming, I tell you guys, don't worry, I'm going to blink. That happens to me whenever I have to go full screen again. So I'm wondering if maybe a window is popping up on his screen.
Like a Windows update. Yeah, like Windows update. Do you want to restart now? Or
exactly.
I think that might very well be, and I'll have to send Tom a message, and because now I'm curious.
Yeah, because for it to happen twice, you know, once that's a little bit, twice, man.
And now he clips the curb, and Ogle goes around and kisses the back end of the car with the wall. Oh, and then he spins it a second time.
Man, when it rains, it pours, and here comes Courtney Nelson, John. Oh, no!
Oh! Wow,
Roger Hurley.
And there's Nelson.
Man, you got to feel for Hurley there, but at the same time, you know, Ogle in a tough
shades of
spot.
Thursday night for Ogle, except for Ogle's on the other end of that turning around part. Man, oh man.
You could see he just drove that thing in there so deep. I mean, he was loose the whole way through the corner. He was trying to catch it. Finally went around, and then you see the 77. He dodged when he should have dived here, John.
Yeah, and he's going to have to take a breath here and regain his composure. Because I'm sure that he's not a happy camper, I'll bet, inside that car right now.
No, definitely not. You got to hope for Roger. You know, that's allowed. I mean, it's not super close, so you can see it on the back of the screen there, that Bass Pro machine. Dwayne MacArthur, he's in 13th. That's allowed him to get close now to the 77 of Hurley. And, man, oh, man, he's got to make that red mist go away here and calm down.
Yeah, I'm sure Hurley's not exactly thrilled either by, you know, the car turning around in front of him. You know, because the rule here in this league is, you know, if you're like that, you hold the brake until you're clear. You're supposed to be using your relative. And, yeah, yowzers.
Yep, tough break. But Andrew Kotska, John, he is just, I mean, absolutely. He's 17 seconds up the road. He could stop and grab a soda here, I think, at the concession stand on the way to get this white flag. He is out there. Well, I didn't want to encourage drinking and driving, you know, but maybe he's close enough to the end that they'd let it slide. It probably wouldn't hit his system.
Zach. So responsible of you.
Yeah.
Thing is, as big of a lead as he is, he could probably get around the track drunk and still be doing just fine.
Yes, probably. I mean, I think in some of those 24-hour races, we have come across some beer-drinking team names. That's for
absolutely.
sure. But, man, Kotska rolls out of the final corner here, and we're going to see him take this white flag. We don't have to bore you with just him on the white flag lap, but I at least wanted to highlight him getting it, man. He's taking over, John, and even the last time by, he ran a 119. That's smooth. He's not going fast at all.
No, he's just making sure he gets back around at that point. But I'll tell you, this battle for 5th and 6th, you know what? We got a lap to decide this, and I'm going to tell you, this thing is far from settled between these two guys. I think Ogle's just a little quicker than Nelson.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember, Nelson was the teacher, Ogle was the protege early on, and it seemed like Ogle kind of surpassed him, put the pressure on, made him get a little bit loose. And you mentioned, I mean, they're rolling into the final corner right now. They haven't taken the white flag. They're about to. So this is a whole lap to dance. And, man, Courtney, he's going to have his laps full. And here, Alan Wanamaker, it looks like we got a little battle on our hands. He's trying to hold off Brian Lynch. Now, they're already a lap down, so this will be their final lap. They've taken the white flag. So Alan Wanamaker just looking to hold on here for half a track as Andrew Kotska, John, crosses the finish line. Win number 5 here as he took a long break and then goes back-to-back at the road courses. Sheer domination out of the 40.
Yeah, nice run here for Andrew, and I'm sure he's going to be pretty psyched up about that. Oh, you know what? Nelson starts to spin.
Oh, yes,
and he tries to block Ogle, trying to hold on to the position.
Oh, man!
Oh, my gosh!
Oh, boy, Ogle! I thought he was going to get into that lap.
Ogle's going to be seeing red now. Now you got a lap car here. But that lap car, I'd get far out of the way.
Daniel Hill did come across the line in second. Isaacs just came across in third, but we've got to watch this here. Josh Robinson easily going to come across in fourth.
Oh, look at Ogle here. He's sending it.
Oh,
wham!
Tokyo Drift. He gets into the tires, and oh, man. Full send from the 11 here. Is he going to lose any more spots? Where's Lushin? Is Lushin close enough to get to him? Oh, man. Tom Ogle comes across the line in 6th. Lushin following right behind there, coming home 7th. His lap.
I'm going to tell you, if Nelson had to have recognized what Ogle was doing there, because if he didn't, that would have been 2 cars in the wall.
Yes, it would have.
He braked harder and just let it. It was like, okay, you go. But if he would have just taken a normal tact in there, like he was going to try to stay on Ogle's outside around that corner, that'd have been 2 cars into the wall hard.
Oh, man, I wish, Ryan, I wish we had the Tokyo Drift theme song queued up there for that final corner. That would have been perfect there for Tom Ogle. But you're seeing Andrew Kotska. He is, he's not trying to show off. He's waiting for everyone else to get there for the photo. That was a big time run. Finished 18 seconds ahead. But we're going to take a quick break. I know they need one. So stick around. We'll be back with the rundown and the interviews from your top 3 here on the Virtual Grip Network. We're back live on the Virtual Grip Network, and boy, oh boy, we saw guys slipping and sliding, but arguably maybe the most exciting move there. That final lap for Tom Ogle when he tried to send it to the inside, collected the tires. But boy, John, I mentioned there during the race, we're done with the road course racing for a little bit. We're going to take a short hiatus, but man, this was a good one.
Yeah, it really was. Wine country, and the track definitely did not disappoint. I love tracks that have elevation changes and things like that. And these guys put on a heck of a show. I mean, I'm sure that some of them probably kind of wish outcomes were a little different, but I think probably everybody probably had a good time out here. This is it's always a fun track to go to.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look here at the final results. I think the man who we assumed would come in and collect the paycheck did indeed collect the paycheck. Andrew Kotska, 18 seconds up the road. He's your winner here at Sonoma. Daniel Hill, P2. Jerry Isaacs, 3rd. Josh Robinson, 4th. Courtney Nelson, 5th. Tom Ogle, 6th. Christian Lushin, 7th. James Hislop, the last car on the lead lap, coming home 8th. Sean Foltz was able to get around Alan Wanamaker for 9th. And, well, the 9-ball Alan Wanamaker rounding out the top 10.
Coming home 11th is going to be Brian Lynch, followed by Dwayne MacArthur and Roger Hurley. And those two were battling right up to the end there. And I guess MacArthur did get around Hurley, knocking Hurley down to 13th. And he was followed by Torrance Childs. Kenny Allen will come home 15th. Robert Garisco, 16th. Bob Fellbaum, 17th. John Paris, 18th. Patrick Martindale, 19th. And Tom Imasi is going to come home on 20th.
Coming home in the blackjack spot, Chris Bates. Gavin Adams, 22nd. I know, Ryan, I'll say it myself. My wild card, Scott Negus, 23rd. And Andrew Medlin rounds out the field 24th. Once again, I'm sorry, Scott. I won't do it to you again. But let's go ahead. Let's talk to the man who brought home third. The guy who, man, you know, I've talked about you so many times tonight, Jerry. You've got to have maybe second, third most top fives this season. Oh, so close, but that win still evading you, man. But you got to feel good after a P3 here in the hills of California.
Oh, absolutely, man. P3 and with this group of drivers is amazing. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. My goal was just to be on the same lap as Andrew when we finished.
Oh, man, no kidding. I'll tell you, you know, a little gamesmanship out of you, and we're used to it. You know, you like the pit calls, and you were stuck behind Josh Robinson, man, and arguably the move of the race for you. Come down a lap early. You use those new tires in a fast outlap, man. You got in front of him by about almost 2 seconds. Were you surprised?
Well, I mean, that was the plan, so I don't want to say I was surprised. I mean, yeah, I could not get past Josh the first 20 laps or whatever till we pit. I made a couple moves and just couldn't make him stick. He was way faster than me on the back half of the track, and that's really kind of where you set up your pass, and I couldn't make it happen, so I had to undercut him to try and get ahead of him, so I'm not going to say I was surprised. I'm going to say it went according to plan. Maybe I was surprised that it worked that well.
My man, you know, I respect the honesty there. I saw a lot of guys, I want to say call it turn 3. You know, you're going downhill, uphill quick, that left-hander. And I saw you slip and slide a couple times under braking. What was so tricky about the hills here tonight?
For me, one of the things is you can't see where you're going, where the next, the road is over the corner. So you know it's there, but it's just, it messes with your mind, and you're carrying so much speed up there, or trying to, that, and pretty much back at the back half of the track, you're burning off the back of your tires. So those rear tires get hot, and you're late in the run, you're battling that. So it's just a really tough track, a really fun track to drive.
Well, hey, man, congratulations on the big P3, Jerry. You got anybody you want to thank?
Oh, absolutely. You guys at VGM do a great job, and I always enjoy going back and watching, and my mom loves to watch, so I appreciate that. OBRL, these guys are fantastic racers. It's fun to race, put on a great series, and of course, YesterYear Racing, the sponsor, and last of all, actually, too, I want to thank Cody Richardson, my coach, for helping me tonight and coaching me through and making me faster as we go. But hi, Mom.
Well, hey, you know what? It's good. You don't want to forget to thank Mom, but I forgot to do one thing, Jerry. I mean, we're rolling into the concrete jungle next week. The mile at Dover. Are you excited when we go to Dover?
No, I struggle with short. Well, I do okay on short tracks overall. I really struggle qualifying, and then I have to work my way through the field, and I tear my stuff up doing it. So I need to get better at qualifying, and I feel like, maybe I can get another top 5 again.
Well, hey, man, I wouldn't be shocked at all to see you there on the top 5. I want to see you get one more win, though, before we get into get a win before we get into the playoffs. But yeah, congratulations.
One more. Wait a minute. Yeah. I'd like to get a win, too. I'll tell you what, if I don't get a win until the last race of the year, I'll be okay with that, too.
My man, Jerry. Good luck the rest of the way. Congratulations.
All right. Thank you, guys.
That's your P3 finisher, Jerry Isaacs. And now, John, you got the man who brought on P2.
I do, and Dan, I kind of feel like I talk to you about every week, it seems like, and another solid performance out of that number 7 car. Walk me through your race real quick. How'd you wind up in second?
It's just a lot of nerves of steel, I guess. This track is really tricky, and it's pretty terrifying. I'm not a huge fan of Sonoma, but it's just a lot of like off-camber turns, and it's really hard to plant the car and exit. So it's one tiny little blip of the throttle and you could go around. And I'm just happy that I'm more proud of my 0x than where I actually finished. I'll be honest.
You speak about blip in the throttle, and I saw a lot of guys struggling to get the back ends to hook up to the track. Was it because of the off camber, or was it was it because of that? And also, were you seeing tire wear to associate with that?
Yeah, I mean, we were seeing a lot of tire wear. I was I was trying to really focus on trying to not burn up the rears. I was actually getting worse front tire wear here. But I've also had a lot of more forward brake bias in it to try to help that. But the thing is if you try to put it in first, because first, you could take first in a couple of these corners, but it would just be so hard. And if you torch the tires, all you're doing is causing you trouble the whole rest of the lap. So you really want to make sure that you take care of the rears here more than anything, because there's so many low speed corners and so many off camber corners that when you're exiting that corner, you need all that grip to go forward.
Absolutely, man. Well, congratulations. Well, good news. After a couple of weeks of going right, going left, we're going to go to the concrete jungle there and go visit Miles the Monster and tackle Dover there. So how are you feeling about that track?
I like Dover. Not particularly fast there, and it'll be real interesting to see what it's like with a new tire model. But just like anything, I look forward to it. I like different tracks. I'm not a big fan of the cookie cutter, so anytime we go to a track like Dover or Pocono or any of those types of tracks that are slightly different, I enjoy them a lot.
Well, awesome, buddy. We'll look forward to seeing you again next week. Anybody you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, as always, Josh and Tom over at Team Miata, and Brian Lynch as well. My wife for letting me do this. You guys for the awesome broadcast you put on, and shout out to Victor Lane and Luke Lane. We did the 24-hour spa yesterday. It was a blast, and if it wasn't for Victor, we wouldn't have this great league. So shout out to him for all the hard work he does behind the scenes.
Well, awesome, man. Well, good luck again, like I said, next week, and we'll talk to you then, man.
Yeah, thanks. You have a good week too, bud.
Yep. That's Dan Hill, our runner-up here tonight. And Zach, you got the guy that kind of has dominated the whole night. Did well in qualifying, been quick in practice, and brought home a win here.
I'll tell you what, before I talk to Andrew here, thank God the boss man was not in our spa race, because I was a rolling chicane. They would have hated us before this broadcast. But man, oh man, Andrew Kotska, you took a long hiatus, man. I want to say 2 weeks off. Then you decided to come back last week, just dominate. And then, man, if we're going to say you dominated last week, I got to come up with a new word for tonight, because you were absolutely gone, man. It seemed like that first run, you were just nursing it. And when you got that fresh set of tires, I don't even know if you were paying attention. You ran a 1:15, man. You were about a quarter second faster than your qualifying lap. I mean, you got in a rhythm. How are you feeling tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great race there for me tonight. I love these road courses. Maybe they'll turn Dover into a road course next week or something before we get there. Who knows? But yeah, on that run there, I was like, hey, let's see if I can get the fast lap. And I heard Jerry get a fast lap, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to send it here and see what happens. So yeah, it was a great race. It was a tough race. I'm tired after those 50 laps around here.
Well, I would say so, man. Dan kind of talked about it. I didn't think to even look at that. Shame on me. But you, Daniel, and Jerry, 0 incident points, along with, we'll highlight Alan Wanamaker and Tom Embassy. How do you do 50 laps at Sonoma and not go off the racetrack once, man? Like, are you human?
It is tough, let me tell you. There's a lot of times going into turn 1 where it felt like I was just about to die in there. I mean, we got that incentive in here. You get those 5 bonus points for getting 0 incident points. So you try as hard as you can to try to keep that car on the track to get those points that really add up at the end of the season.
No kidding, man. I mean, that is impressive. To go around here 50 laps, 10 turns, and arguably a little more than that, 0 incident points. That's a great show. But Andrew, before I let you do your thank yous that you're so used to doing, I mean, Mr. 5-time winner here, you highlighted Dover a little bit. Sadly, I don't think they're going to turn it into a road course, man. But that is the racetrack where they used to race there June 4th, weekend of my birthday. I would go there every year for my birthday. My dad would take me. Track's so special to me. Are you excited going to Dover next week?
Oh yeah, I love Dover. Any of the short tracks are a great place to go. Hoping I'll be in contention next week. I know there's a bunch of guys in here that are really strong at Dover, like Tom and Dwayne. So I feel like there's going to be some good battling for the lead next week, and hopefully we can put on a good show for you guys and everyone watching out there.
Yeah, looking forward to you and Dwayne battling it out, man. You're tied up at the top now, 5 wins apiece. So congratulations, Andrew, on a big win, carrying a lot of momentum here with the playoffs coming soon. You got anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, first of all, thank you guys here in the booth. Great job every single week with your broadcasts. Shout out to the entire OBRL admin team and to all the drivers here. It was a tough race here tonight. Congrats to everyone that finished the race, because it is a tough place to even finish a race around here. And shout out to all friends and family out there watching on YouTube land as well.
Well, hey, congratulations, Andrew. Hopefully we're talking to you after the Monster Mile next week. Good luck, brother.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
It's Andrew Kotska, 5-time winner, John. We got 2 guys with 5 apiece, man. Dwayne and Andrew, I'm going to be honest with you. You know, I slept on them a little bit with Josh Robinson coming out having such a good first couple weeks. You know, I thought maybe Josh, hey, might be the favorite. But, man, we've got 2 dogs on this porch, and they are barking. They're going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, 100% here, and and there's quite the collection of tracks too in that chase. So those guys that are gonna all qualify for that, you've got the super speedways in there, you got a road course in there, short tracks, intermediate tracks. So you've got a mix, and that's gonna provide for some exciting racing down the stretch for sure.
Definitely looking forward to it. Speaking of looking forward to it, let's take a look at what's coming up here. John, you touched on it a little bit. Highlighted some of the things you talked about, but man, how was it talking to Courtney?
It was really cool. I mean, the main theme of what we talked about was some of the changes to the Gen 7 car here, the next gen car, whatever you want to call it. So we had a really good discussion on that, about the air and the tires and the different changes on that, and talked a lot about OBRL, and not just this deal here, but OBRL runs during the week with ARCA and the trucks and the Xfinity series. So we had a really good conversation about all those things. So definitely want to tune in and check that out.
Yeah, and Courtney, you mentioned, hey, he accepted the challenge. I issue that challenge to a lot of you guys here in the OBRL. With how clean you are, come out and play in the dirt a little bit here in that BRL late model league. I'm telling you, you guys will have a lot more fun than you think. But next Sunday, we talked about it. John, I told you, man, this was, I'd come here every year for my birthday. Got to see Mark Martin win here in person, my favorite driver. I cannot wait to go to Dover next week.
Yeah, and Dover's, it's a short track that races like a super speedway. It is a lot of fun. You talk about elevation changes, turning down into turn 1 and turn 3 there, you go from way up on the banking up against the wall down to that apex, and man, I can't wait to get there. I think these guys are going to put on a fantastic show there.
Yeah, definitely. And if you ever have a chance to get there in real life, do it, because man, that small track, they got the metal stands when they do the flyover. Oh man, the whole place shakes. Absolutely love the atmosphere. But on behalf of everyone here at the Virtual Grip Network, we'd like to thank you for tuning into the OBRL YesterYear Racing Cup Series. We were treated to a good one. I'd like to thank my partner, John Hine, the man in the back, Ryan Seneker, and last but not least, all of you for tuning in. Have a good night.